All right, hey guys, this is just to kind of piggyback on some of the videos I made in the past. I did one on a rose gold bridal makeup look, and I think I did like a pink version of that, like slightly cooler version. And I don't do a ton of makeup videos because, again, it is absolutely not the focus of my video, but every now and then I like to share just some things that I think are worth keeping, because you guys know that I'm old school. I do not flow with the times. I stick with what is classic and timeless, and I stick with what just works. I stick with what aligns with what I like makeup for. I don't wear a lot of makeup, and I don't wear it every day, but I've always aligned with, if you're going to use makeup, that it should enhance and it should support what we already have. And all of a sudden, watching makeup turn into catfishing, which is purely what it is these days. It's just pure catfishing. They call it artistry, but again, there is a fine line between artistry and literally changing what somebody looks like so drastically that you are unrecognizable without makeup. And I always ask people, like, why do you wear makeup? Are you so insecure and you really hate the way that you look, that you want to look like somebody else? Maybe we can keep you and just shift it ever so slightly so that you are more comfortable with it and feel good in your own body. Because unfortunately, what happens is when you make your face up so much every day, you get so used to that, you become addicted to it, and then you can't even stand to look at yourself in the mirror without it. And this is what drives women to Botox and fillers and retinols and all of that. You get so accustomed to looking like something you're not, and when that gap starts to get too huge, it drives us to continue to feed the beast even more. Okay, we end up sinking into that deep, never-ending spiral. Okay, it's a pit that will suck you in, and it will just keep sucking you in, okay, until you finally just be comfortable with who you are and what you look like. Now, I love to wear a little bit of makeup from time to time. Again, I don't wear it every day. I've mentioned in other videos that I've done, I miss my lashes. I miss my lashes the most. I think that's what I miss the most. I don't even really, mind the wrinkles and the grays. I really don't mind that. I miss my lashes. So from time to time, I'll wear a little mascara, and I will wear mineral foundation. I do wear mineral powder as a backup SPF. Sometimes I wear it on its own as an SPF. It's always worked great for me. And today I just put a little bit of bronzer on, and I only did that because I just wanted to share something with you guys. I know this is long-winded, and I know that I've just spent 3 minutes talking about, what some people kind of think is frivolous, but it's backstory, okay? It's backstory, and backstory is necessary. So I did put a little bit of bronzer on today, and I just want to show you how I do it. This is how I've always done it. And again, I don't follow trends, okay? I just don't follow trends. So people have different shaped faces, okay? I have a longer face. There's people that have very round faces. There's people that have heart-shaped faces like my daughter. So everybody has a different shaped face. And I understand that there's different techniques to thin your face, to widen your face, to lengthen your face, and all of that. And that does fall in the realm of artistry, okay? Which I've learned. But I don't really care about it. And I know that that is like, a lot of people are kind of like, well, isn't the whole goal of makeup is to make us look like like what we want to look like? And I don't know. I like to use makeup as a way of enhancing. And so instead of trying to completely change the shape of your face, or change the fact that you might not have distinguished cheekbones and you want to contour and, look more masculine, how about we just go with it? How about we just flow with it and see if we can get you to appreciate it even more. So when I use bronzer, I like a true sun-kissed look. okay? And that means, what would nature do if you were literally out in the sun for 20 to 30 minutes without any sun protection? What would your face look like? Because we all know that it looks really good on people, right? The healthy glow. It looks great on everybody. And nature isn't contouring you. Okay, nature is not selectively contouring each person to put it in a spot that is going to make their face look rounder or thinner or whatever, shorter, whatever, okay? So I love the natural look. I think it's flattering on pretty much everybody, okay? And that is the classic Sun Zone, okay? And I will tell you, my favorite brush for bronzer is the Clinique blending brush. It's got a short handle. It's got a super, super soft. These bristles are top notch. Like, honestly, hands down, some of the most beautiful bristles I have ever felt in my entire life. I love this brush. This obviously is the newer one. The older one was definitely not as soft. So this is, I don't know how new. I really don't. I've had it for like a couple of years. I don't know when they actually launched this particular brush, but it is the newer one, all right? So insanely soft. And the older one, again, it was okay, but it was definitely not nearly as soft as this one. And this brush is just phenomenal. It is hands down one of my favorite brushes ever. I gave one to my sister for Christmas. I think it was last year, not this year, but last year. And she was like, this is hands down my favorite brush ever. I'm like, right? It's beautiful. So I love it. And I love it for bronzer. And I know some people are into like small brushes, which I find just takes way too much time and is completely unnecessary, because I get a much better effect and it's quick and I just love it. You guys know I'm a powder fan. I'm not a fan of creams, okay? I'm not a fan of creams and liquids. You gotta blend more. They're a pain in the ass. They get old faster because of all the preservatives and all of the ingredients in there. They go off quicker, so you end up throwing away and wasting more product. I just don't like creams and liquids, and I don't use them. So I love a powder formula. And as you get older, so I'm 57, you know, it's nice to have a really nice formula, okay? But honestly, out of all the bronzers and all of the stuff I have, I don't have anything that's streaky or patchy or anything. Everything I have is beautiful. And most of it's like mineral makeup, because that's generally what I gravitate towards. So this is the Jane Iredale bronzer, and this is in the shade medium. I could definitely use the light one too, okay? I can use the light and the medium. I actually would be in between too. Like if she came out with like a light medium shade, I think everybody should have more than 3 shades. 3 shades is not really a lot, but you can always mix them together. This is a very warm bronzer. Okay, so it's, oh, what a frog in my throat. Definitely not going to be suitable for someone who likes a cooler tone bronzer, okay? I wish that they would offer warm and cooler for all different, you know, shade ranges, like light, medium, dark, have a warm and a cooler. I think that that would be the way to go, but I know it gets expensive for companies to do that, so they don't. They try to pick what's going to be the most popular, but this is the warm shade. Jane Iredale, medium bronzer, matte bronzer. And I already did it, but I'm just going to show you what I did. This is how I apply it. So I always start at my nose. And why do I start at my nose? Because that is where the sun hits you the most, okay? Like these people, I don't get it. People that only put bronzer up here or down here, I'm like, what are you doing? So I start at my nose, and I make sure that when I dab it into the product, and then I smear it into the lid. And then what I do is I brush it off on the edge, or I dab it into the back of my hand, just so that I don't end up putting a pile of powder on my face. So then what I do is with an extremely light hand, and I am talking, you want to barely touch your face. You barely want to feel it, like a feather stroke from a distance. Like you barely want to feel it. And you basically just sweep it down the nose in the lightest touch. I am talking the lightest touch imaginable. Then you continue with that super light touch, and I brush it at the very high point of the cheek. And then what I do is I turn it and I use the big wide part, and again, a very light feather stroke, I go across my forehead, and you go right in the middle, because that is where the sun hits you. The sun doesn't hit you up here, people. The sun hits you where your forehead is the most bowed out, okay? And that is right across the center of your forehead. So I continue to sweep it gently across the forehead, and I might even do a little bit under and a little bit above, but mostly it's kind of in the center, okay? Then I come back down and I go over my eye and the top of my cheek, and I keep it very high because that is where the sun would kiss you. So I literally am going across this whole area like this, okay? Across the whole thing. And you're basically sunning up that whole area. And if you want a little bit of balance, you can come down here a little bit if you'd like, however you want to do it. If you want to do the neck a tiny bit, it's completely up to you. I don't like to go dark with bronzer. I don't want anybody to think I have anything on. I want it to look completely subtle and natural, okay? It's my big beef with bronzers. I see too many influencers where they've got the line here. I'm here to tell you, it just looks silly. And all the people that comment saying, oh, this looks so beautiful. No, it looks fake. It looks absolutely fake. It looks like you just smeared bronzer all over your face instead of having it look like a truly, truly, truly sun-kissed look. So I like a really natural look. And honestly, this looks really natural because I have followed the natural pattern that it would take if it was done by nature, okay? Versus makeup artists that are always trying to create looks that I'm not saying that they don't look good to people that like that kind of stuff, but it's not necessarily a natural look, and it doesn't look effortless, and it doesn't look understated. It looks overdone, okay? And I get it. People are into like underpainting, and people have all of these techniques and all of these tricks. But at the end of the day, I have to ask myself, does it really look any better? And does it really look any different than the way I've been doing it for 30 years? And the answer is no. No, it doesn't, okay? When you use good products and good brushes, you can get anything to look flawless. You can get anything to look really, really good. And when your skin is in really good condition, and my skin is in amazing condition because I don't use any modern beauty stuff. I don't do any of that stuff. So my skin is still in good condition. It's not dry, dehydrated. I don't have a damaged barrier. I don't have to deal with texture and patchiness. I don't have to deal with any of that because I'm not trying to manipulate my skin. I just nurture my skin and I let nature take care of it. And I also eat an animal-based diet, a high-fat animal-based diet. So this is what I love, and I wanted to share it with you guys because if you're kind of tired of a lot of the makeup influencing out there that has really become catfishing, and the makeup has become so over the top, again, it's insane. I just don't understand it. And again, I'm not saying that it's not glamorous, and I'm not saying that there isn't an element of artistry and beauty in it. But what I'm saying is it's feeding into the system of moving us so far away from what is real. It's bringing us into major fake territory that it starts to become a real problem because we start to get addicted to that. We start to become accustomed to that. We start to get used to it. Then we look at ourselves in the mirror and we think, oh God, I hate it. You have to pile all that stuff on your face. So subtle keeps you from crossing that line too far, right? And it keeps you able to look at yourself in the mirror without anything going, okay, I'm okay with this, right? Versus extreme. Now, I don't have anything else on. I didn't do my eyes. I didn't do my brows. I didn't do my lips. I don't have anything else on. I wasn't planning on putting bronzer on today. I just thought I would do it to do this video. And again, I'm not out here saying that I'm right and everybody else is wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I'm giving you guys a different perspective, okay? And it's the same thing with how I feel about nude lips. I think they are absolutely atrocious. They make people look sick. They make people look sick. The whole idea is to like have life in the face, bring the face to life. You know, cold lips that are bland and lighter than the rest of you makes you look like you have a sickness. Okay, it's not attractive. And for people to love it and think it looks good, goes to show you how disconnected we are. Because as someone who practices holistic medicine and has done so my whole adult life, pale lips is a sign of illness. Okay, it's a sign of illness. And of course it happens as we get older. We start to lose the color of our lips because we're getting older and things just aren't what they used to be. But when you look at someone and you look at someone that has lost that vitality and their lips are pale, it's not a good sign. It's not a good look. It's not a sign of health and vibrancy. Okay, so you'll never see me doing a nude lip. My definition of a nude lip is my lip but better. So it's basically whatever my natural lip color is and bumping it up just the slightest little bit, not a lot, but just the slightest little bit to bring a little more life to my face, but to not look noticeable, to look like it is just my natural lip color. Not to lighten my lip color. I don't understand that. I don't understand it. It really goes to show you how stuff is contagious and stuff can penetrate us and we can like things that are actually like bizarre. And if you were to hold it up to a different standard that we were accustomed to, we'd look at that and be like, oh my God, that looks terrible. But we only like it because it's been programmed into us. I don't know. It's very bizarre to me. It is very bizarre. The nude lip thing is crazy. I think some people can do okay with like, you know, the outer liner and the inside a little bit lighter because you're still getting the contrast and the balance and it still looks pretty fresh. It still looks pretty alive. But the pale nude lip that so many people are doing, it looks really bad. And I'm just saying. And people might say that's my opinion. Well, it doesn't look healthy. It doesn't look natural. Looks fake. And to me, fake is not a good thing. That's just where I'm at. I'm not into fake. Never have been, never will be. All right? Signing out.